How's it going, people? How's it going? Welcome back to my channel, nice and early this Saturday morning, and that's if you're tuning in from the UK. But if you're not, then God knows what time it is. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. It is the Big Six. We are back, and yeah, game week 11 preview. I see TOBS looking real like chuffed again in the bottom corner there. So we're going to get into that match first. MATISSE has just made it. Let's bring him in.
I'm late, guys. God damn.
Nah, no worries. It was an early one today. I was worried about everyone's attendance. And I'm not the type to start messaging, man, like 3 hours before, 4 hours. I do it like 20 minutes before and then worry. So it's good you man are all here. But listen, people as well, there's a new intro coming for Big Six, but I need someone to make a beat for it. We've done the same with the Realer Than Most intro. So if you are a producer, if you make beats, send in a 12 to 13 second instrumental. I'll have a look through them, and yeah, you might get the chance to feature in the intro of Big Six moving forward. So hopefully I get some entries in, good ones like we did for Realer Than Most, and then yeah, we can start improving this show and keep it moving forward. But people, it's North London Derby weekend. Yesterday I was with Expressions. It feels like I'm handing out a lot of assists this weekend. I gave an assist to Expressions last night, brought him on. Yeah, it is what it is. And today Toby gets that assist. So let's start with him. North London Derby, the smile on your face says it all. Just talk to me.
Bro, man, a North London Derby, I'm always nervous. Like, no matter how like confident I may be, I'm always nervous. But I'm heading into this one in the best of spirits, because it's not even like I'm trying to draw inspiration from the fact that we're top. I'm drawing inspiration from the fact that you lot are just not. You're not a formidable side, and I feel like heading into this match with us at home, with all our key players available, like nothing less than 3 points is acceptable. Like we have to go into that game and win it. Like there's going to be no excuses whatsoever. Even if Thomas Partey plays, we have to be winning that game, because right now we are the overwhelming favorites. We're the informed team, and we've beaten better sides. So it would be for me, it would be kind of low key a madness if we get turned over by you lot in the state you're in now. So for me, we got to win. No excuses.
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. I think far too often Tottenham fans look at this game as a game for just bragging rights. But this season, it's a bit different. I think you've had the bragging rights for a few years now. It's not the first year you've been better than us. And I'm sure it won't be the last, looking at the way we're moving right now. But you need the 3 points. I can't lie, because it is that time now. Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, I've looked over the years at Man United sides and looked at those games and said to myself, this is the game we need to put it on them, get 3 points. But it never really seems to happen. Yeah, we have got 3 points here and there, but we want to make or get some revenge on the 6-1s and 8-2s. That never seems to happen. Whereas with Tottenham, I think that mentality change that Mourinho has brought in, you know, that's changed the fans as well. You know, with Pochettino was more a friendly type of vibe. I'm not saying he wasn't, you know, very serious. He was. But the fans had a lot of time for him, a lot of patience, you know. But with Mourinho, the name itself brings that aura, you know, to challenge, to win. Is that a part of it?
I mean, it is and it isn't, because I do think that like Pochettino, like the work he did to try and like change the mentality of our club was incredible, and it's the black mark on his time with us that he didn't win a trophy, because I feel like he should have won a trophy. But taking us from, and a lot of people say, oh no, but we finished in the top four in the Harry and stuff. We did, but Pochettino picked us up when we were at our lowest, one of our lowest points in the last probably 10 or 11 years, get whipping boys for the Big Six, literally the whipping boys, getting thrashed left, right, and center. And he picked us up, and he actually made us formidable again. So, like, for me, I feel like Poch laid the groundwork, laid the foundations, and started to make this team believe that, like, yo, you can actually compete with some of these boys. And if you look at his points tally, from I think his second season to about like his fourth season or something like that, I think only like Man City or Man City or Liverpool amassed more points than him. So that consistency was ridiculous, and it's a shame that he did all that and didn't win a trophy. Jose Mourinho, you know, I'm not really his biggest fan, and I still think it's far too early to convince me that he's the old Jose again. But I feel like this season, with us making those key signings that we've made, I think bar the first sort of 1.5 games, he's making the right decisions. He's playing the better players. He's getting the tactics spot on, depending on the type of opposition we're playing. And it's paying dividends as well. And like you said, when he's at the club, there is generally that expectation because you've brought in, by all accounts, a bona fide winner. So you've got this setup in place now. You've brought in a winner. You're paying him 15 million a year. Something has to give this season. We got to win something. And the boys know that there's pressure on them. So really and truly, we hope that they can deliver.
Yeah, the pressure steps up a little when you show more ambition and direction. I mean, that was a big move to get rid of Poch. We've talked about it before, but it shows a bit more ambition. Whether it's right or wrong, we'll find out. But it does show that that Levy wanted more. You can see the fans wanted more. So we'll see if that brings more. Yeah. Talking about Thomas Partey, I think Arsenal fans, you know, we tend to hang off the coattails of anything. You know, it doesn't matter if Partey plays on Sunday or not. We are still underdogs. We are still likely to have to hold down the fort, to have all hands on deck. That's the reality of it. Partey is not Superman. So, and looking at Ndombele's progress this season, I can't lie. I've looked at him in the summer, and I used to use him as an example to give players time, because when people get onto Nicolas Pepe, I said, well, look at Ndombele. He's had a year where it's not been the best, but over the last 2 months, he's really pushed on and put that conversation to bed. How important is he for you guys, Tobs?
He's essential, man. He's absolutely essential. I think we were actually discussing this on Touchline last night. Like, it's funny, the Partey v Ndombele comparison, because they've got like similar-ish skill sets in their ability to pass a ball and to be able to dribble a ball. But I think Ndombele is so unique in the way he plays. Like, it's what he offers us. No one else can in the team. His ability to soak up pressure and beat 3-man with the ball and split the defense, like, he's honestly amazing. I think it's a testament that he only plays like 65 minutes per game, and look at the impact he's making on 65 minutes. Imagine if he was playing for like 90 minutes per game. So of course his fitness needs to run up, but I think for that game, especially on Sunday, with what we expect is you lot sort of dropping deep and wanting us to sort of take the game to you, we're going to need him for that ingenuity, because we have no one else in the team who can unlock a defense like he can. So he will be massively important.
Højbjerg as well this season looks like a very good addition. Would you say one's more important than the other?
I would say for what the team needs right now, Højbjerg is actually more important. Like, if we lost Højbjerg, because our defense isn't that good anyway. If we lost Højbjerg, it's open season on our defense, and I think the work that he gets through shoring up our back four is amazing, and his impact cannot be understated this season. I think I'm shocked by how good he's been. So right now, he's more essential to the team than Ndombele, because I feel like we have Lo Celso and whatnot. But in terms of an offensive threat, like a midfielder who can make something out of nothing, no one can do that in our team better than Ndombele.
Yeah. Matisse, obviously with Chelsea, you lot are up there with Tottenham. You just played Tottenham. I'm not sure who's happier with that point. I think Tottenham obviously walked away a bit happier with that point last week. But Matisse, how do you see the North London derby going this weekend as a neutral, let's say?
Yeah, I think Tottenham might be happier, because personally I feel like we missed a lot of chances in that second half. Obviously, Jose kind of parked the bus in the end. I think we managed to limit them to one shot on target, and I think Arsenal are going to have to. I mean, you guys have kind of already been sacrificing your attack anyway for defense, but you're really going to have to do it against Tottenham. You're going to have to really, Kane and Son. I'm just happy we kept them quiet. Do you know what I mean? Because if you allow these guys to even get shots off on goal, it's a wrap. Do you know what I mean? Their accuracy and their how efficient those two are as players, whether it comes to playmaking, creating chances, or scoring goals, is a problem. So, I fear for Arsenal. I really do, because one thing Tottenham will do is they'll take their chances. I know we managed to keep a clean sheet, but like I said, that was for me just purely down to the fact that we was able to limit those two from shooting on goal. And I think if Arsenal are in any way, open or in any way lacking concentration, I think things can get mad ugly real quick. You know what I mean? This is a Tottenham team that they've got, as I said about in the preview before for the Chelsea Tottenham game, they've got a different mentality now. I see the mentality's gone up a notch, or it's going up. And I feel like they're not a team where, if they score against you, they're going to, worry about trying protecting the 1-goal lead. We saw what they did at Old Trafford. I think if they get a goal, they just seem to get more confident. I think that was the key to not even allowing them to score in the first place for us, because if they get a goal, they're not one of these teams that are going to just chill. Sometimes if they're in the mood, they'll just keep going and going and going. They won't even, they won't throw a bag of man forward because there's no need. But like you said, Ndombele breaking and then Kane and Son, you don't really need nothing else. Do you know what I mean? That's all you need. You've got
a good quality there.
Yeah. You've got all the different aspects of an attack there. Do you know what I mean? You got the pace, the power, and the dribbling. You've got the finishing in Son, and you've got the playmaking and finishing in Kane. So Arsenal have to be very good in transition. I think Partey needs to be fit. He needs to be fit. I don't see anybody else in your midfield that really matches Ndombele for pace, that can really control him. And then whoever's playing right back, if it's Bellerin or whoever, they better be on form. If Bellerin's at right back, or who do you usually play at right back? Is it Bellerin?
None of our right backs are on form ever.
Yeah,
so it doesn't actually matter.
Because for me, Harry Kane, he hasn't chopped over to that left hand side and done a mad curler in a while. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. We've seen that Arsenal an awful lot. So you're right there, and Bellerin is the weak point for us, and he will start the game. There's no doubt about that. Maitland-Niles played good in the middle in the Europa League, so if he's going to go in anywhere, it'll be next to Partey or El Nene next to Partey. But you're right. Bellerin is going to be exposed that day. SAEED, let's move on to you quickly. What do you think about the game? North London derby, obviously.
Listen, I like the love for the derby. Me, I think I know, the Manchester derby pros a lot, but I like the North London derby. But I say this right now, I think there's a lot of pressure on Tottenham to get this game done, get this game over the line, because I feel like for Tottenham, this will be a kind of a mental kind of block for them. If they can win this today, I feel like it will make a statement. It's a big statement. It's almost like a statement to Arsenal saying, listen, we're here now. You know what I mean? We're here to challenge. Where are you, man? And I feel like Arteta will know that, and I feel like he'll just try and stick the place out. You know what I mean? He came to Old Trafford and nullified a very, very good attacking, front two, you're looking at Rashford, you're looking at Bruno, looking at Greenwood, all them guys there, he nullified them and he stunk the place out. And I feel like that will be the message today. Do not get beat, And that would be the worst thing for Arsenal to do, to get beat in a North London derby, to get embarrassed, and then it's almost like a feeling of, Tottenham moving away from Arsenal to say, you know what, we're gonna be amongst the big boys, Liverpool, City, all them lot, when eventually I feel like City will climb up the table. But I just feel like it'll be a big statement if Tottenham win tonight. And if they don't, then you almost say to yourself, Mourinho, then come on, man, when are you ever going to beat them at the right stage, at the right time to prove a point, to prove a statement and say, listen, we're moving this direction. But I feel like Arsenal, to get a draw wouldn't be the baddest result, I think for the confidence, you're lacking goals. I think for me, you always say the best form of attack is defense, but for them, their best form is defense. You've got to be solid. You've got to be solid. And I feel like Partey, I don't know if he's back or not, but you're looking at workhorses. You need Nelly in there. The way he nullified Bruno and our midfield, you've got to have him in there. You've just got to have people who are willing to get the hard yards in. And I feel like that will be the key tonight. If Arsenal can get a result against Tottenham, I'll be absolutely surprised, mate. I really would. I really would. I just feel like the writing is on the wall for Tottenham to give Arsenal a hammering. But football doesn't work like that. Football, this is why we love football. It never works. Tottenham are the favourite. Tottenham, how many can they score? You're all thinking, what's going on? And then Arsenal probably go and get a draw. And you're thinking, what's going on? Because football tells you, man, a good defence and Tottenham, can they break them down? Against Chelsea, I was disappointed with them, man. I'll be real, man. I thought, let's give them a good game, man. I thought Chelsea looked like the more kind of potent, and I thought Tottenham were a bit reserved, man. You've got the attack there, Son, Harry Kane. You've got the attack. Just go for it. I want to see it. Why doesn't Mourinho want to see an entertaining game? I just don't know.
I think it's going to be a game of chess, to be honest. And I think it's going to be a game of chess. I don't think you're going to see us play the same way throughout the game. I think you're going to see a very different approach to the game that you saw at Stamford Bridge and against Man City. I think this one, as you saw last season as well, we can beat Arsenal in a variety of ways. We can let them have the ball and they'll struggle to break us down, and we can pick them off in transition. And on the flip side, we have the players to unlock their deep block as well. So I think you're going to see the game go in swings and roundabouts. I don't think we're going to smash Arsenal like some people think. I don't think you're going to see a 3-0 or 4-0 job, but I think you will see us just confidently take control of the match. I think the match is going to end 2-0, and I genuinely think it's a case of Mourinho versus Arteta in terms of who can react to the game the quickest and the better. And I mean, he's 10 times the manager Arteta is. So if that's the toss-up to decide the game, Mourinho's going to win all day long. Yeah,
man. I've been seeing videos saying Arteta or Mourinho recently. I'm just thinking, right, content must be drying up, Carl. I don't know how you're going to compare the two. And there's nothing to compare in Arteta right now. He's only had a year, and that year he's had is at a team that doesn't give anyone the best platform, let alone a new manager. We've got a super chat here from Strip Bear. The devastating situation Arsenal are in makes me smile. I think it makes a lot of people smile, but it's killed me, mate. Tottenham are going to extinguish you. I've been waiting for that to happen a long time. Coming from a Chelsea fan, yeah, you just stay over there. Yeah, just stay over there. Yeah, London's been yours for a little while. Just don't get involved in this little tussle we're having up north. But yeah, Steve, let's move on to you. How do you see the North London derby? Obviously, coming from a City perspective.
To be honest, the way Tottenham are playing at the minute and the way Mourinho, like people were saying before, it seems to have changed a bit of the mentality. I can only see Tottenham getting a result. I think I've been watching Mourinho, and if you watch the Tottenham documentary, and people were saying they did look a little bit soft. Tottenham, the whole place looked soft to me. There was players crying when they get kicked in training. It just looked really soft. But with Mourinho now, it looks like he's instilled a bit of grit into him. And I think there's a bit of belief there now with Tottenham. And I think they're actually thinking in their own head, look, let's take it game by game and let's move on. But it is a derby, and anything can happen in a derby. A lot of times, you go in there expecting someone to win and it doesn't go that way. But, Arteta's struggling at the minute. Arsenal, they're not looking great. Patrick Vieira's just been sacked as well, so he might be floating around haunting Arteta. I think the fans would rather have Vieira in. But I don't think Tottenham win, I'll be honest with you.
I think, listen, the Vieira one for if he's getting sacked from Nice, I don't think it's a great second stone to Arsenal.
It's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah, not right now.
Don't get legends at your football club, man. Don't get legends at your football club, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Not unless you know. Let them build their platform at another club before they potentially come over here. It's a big risk. But Steve, let me just stay on you for the prediction before we move to Grizz. What's your prediction for the game?
I'd say Spurs will win 2-0.
2-0, yeah. Yeah, we have got problems goal scoring. Grizz, give me your thoughts on the game and then a prediction.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's one of the most one-sided sort of leading up to the game. One-sided thoughts of everyone is towards sort of Spurs. I can't remember a derby that's been sort of so people thinking it's going to be so one-sided. But football's mad, isn't it? Football. This is why football's mad. How often does it work out like we think it's going to work out? Do you know what I mean? Very rarely, especially in a derby. I think a lot depends on the team lineups. I do. Certain players that are sort of apparently, touch and go for both teams. I heard Lloris might be out for Spurs. There's rumors floating about. Yeah, so that's massive for Spurs, I'd say, especially with TOBS. Is Rodon still playing, or is one of your other centre backs back now? Because if you still got that young,
Rodon's there, but Alderweireld is back in training now, so he's probably going to start. Yeah.
Okay. So these little things, and with Partey and Arsenal, it does. Partey's so crucial.
Yep.
I think someone mentioned you got to match the energy that he suddenly brought back into the Spurs side, because I think Steve touched upon they were soft touch everywhere, in every department. Spurs were known as a fairly soft touch, very similar to Arsenal. But Jose's fixed that with Momo, Sissoko and Højbjerg in midfield. He's got them two destroyers just fully fit and doing a certain job. And it's boring to the neutrals. But as a Spurs fan, you just feel calm and solid when them two men are just patrolling that back four. Because their job is very Jose. That's what he does. He always buys players that are going to be his spokespersons almost on the pitch, and he's got that in Højbjerg and rejuvenated Sissoko to play this role where he just stands alongside him and destroys everything. And Ndombele is, You know, everyone knows about the talent. You know, and Ndobele reminds me of Abu Dhabi. Do you remember Abu Dhabi for you guys?
Yeah.
So like in terms of the way he receives the ball and turns and touch and the vision. And he's a marvelous player, but he's got to be fit. He's got to be strong mentally as well. And if he's on his game, he's one of those players that you can't stop. You just have to try to cover as much as you can because you can't stop him because he's massive. And someone so massive, he's got a great amount of skill and that turn he does when he's receiving the ball, you can break any press. Arsenal proved they can go into big games and make it hard. When you came to Liverpool, we had to put in the performance of the season so far, and we beat you, but we had to play at our very best. You pressed us. You was hunting in packs. Arteta's got that big match mentality. You know, he will revert back to type in terms of he tried to open it up recent weeks with the back four. He's going to go back to the 5. You know, I don't know what your centre back situation is though. Like I know Gabriel.
Huh? It's never good. Even if they're all fit, it's never good.
But I'm guessing Tierney, Gabriel, and Holding.
Honestly, yeah. No, was it Louise? Mari's back.
Oh man, if Louise is not concussed, then you lot in trouble, bro. I was hoping he'd be concussed still, man. For you lot, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know, I never wish bad on a player.
You know what's funny about that? Because I understand that about Louise, yeah, but I actually think Louise is one of the few that knows what this game means for in terms of Arsenal Football Club. What players know what this game means, and that's sad for me to say.
For me, that's when he's at his most vulnerable. When he's so hyped up for it, you know there's a stupidness around the corner from him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, so that's the thing. You know, he's so hyped up. He's like we had a Lovren who was very similar, just thinks he's better than he is. You know, Spurs have got that as well if Aurier's playing right back, because Aurier's playing good, but you know there's a hothead moment in there.
Mistaken.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and so I think it's going to be a boring game. That's what I do know. It's not going to be no end-to-end thrills. No. You know what I mean? Arsenal are going to sit there. Spurs are going to be... And Jose doesn't send out his teams to go and just try to win it in the first 30 minutes. He's just going to just relax and, you know that Ndobele, Son and Kane will get a chance or two. And he knows they're more prolific than Arsenal's boys up front. And that's what he's going to prey on. I'm looking at, you know what I mean? I'm looking at a 1-0 Spurs, you know. It's going to be tight. 1-1. Because the thing is, even when Arsenal go behind, they don't change their game plan under Arteta. No. So he won't get thrashed. Do you know what I mean? Like Man City took a lead against them early and we thought, okay, the floodgate's going to open. But he just sat there all game, you know, and City were happy for them to just sit there. So I think it's going to be similar, in my opinion. I think it's going to be like a 1-0 Spurs, man.
Yeah, I don't think our club can juggle multiple formations or plans at the moment. I think they're struggling with one, let alone doing others in the game. Matisse, let's move on to you and a prediction for the game.
Yeah, I mean, wow, man. If you guys have to take advantage of Serge Aurier because Chelsea didn't, do you know what I mean? And that's for me, that's their defensive weak spot because he can be dodgy sometimes, and you need to unlock Aubameyang. I'd go.
Joe Hart might be playing as well, apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
He's a mess.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Tottenham, to be honest.
3-1 Tottenham. Yeah. SAEED, before we touch on Tobes, what are you saying?
I think if Joe Hart plays, I think there's a strong rumour that Lloris is out injured. If Joe Hart plays, you know what? I could see a 1-1. You know, I think it might be a 1-1 game.
Even Arsenal fail to take shots at games. Even if you do take shots, sometimes it's not on target throughout the whole game. So I don't know. So the key part, Joe Hart, is definitely a massive step down. I watched him against Lask the other day, and I don't know.
Oh my God,
what he's doing. So obviously, if we can get shots on goal, we have a chance. But let me see how the game goes in the first 10 minutes, and I'll get back to you on that. Tobes, what are you telling me for the prediction, bro?
2-0, man. I know Joe Hart is a worry. He's a worry, but like you said, you lot also need to worry about making your own chances, popping your own shots off within Arteta's rigid system. I think you lot got something like you're in the bottom 5 across the top 5 European leagues for like average shots per game this season. So, yeah, 2-0 win to Spurs. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I expect us to ride through whatever you can throw at us and get the 3 points.
Yeah, fair enough. And you know what, Matisse took the words out of my mouth, or took the prediction out of my mouth. I said it last night, and if I'm using my head, I'm saying 3-1 Tottenham. And even if I'm using my heart, I'm saying 2-2 at best. So head or heart, it's not the result I want, but it's the reality for me. I'm not very optimistic. I haven't got much hope moving into Sunday, but we'll see. Hopefully Arteta pulls one out the bag. And I just want to touch on the first big 6 fixture of the weekend. Steve, just going back to you, obviously Man City got a relatively easy one. You're picking up form, Fulham at home. It's a formality.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, looking at Fulham, the way they're playing, I mean, I know they've had a little bit of a mini revival, but I can't see anything but us just rolling them right over. I think we're clicking into gear in a few different places. Looking at Mahrez, I mean, we was a bit negative towards him last time, and then he goes and pulls an hat-trick out. I think Ferran Torres is clicking into gear. The back four with Diaz is looking good. I mean, John Stones has come into that now, and he's pushing Laporte out. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, he is playing well. I can only just see us dominating. I mean, we're dominating every team we play this season. We're literally just controlling the game, and then we just can't finish. But I expect Man City to put quite a few past Fulham. Someone was going to cop for an hiding. I know Burnley cop for 5, but every time we play Burnley, we're hitting for 5. So I reckon I can see us beating Fulham today 4 or 5. I'll be honest with you. That's what I'm expecting anyway.
Yeah, I know. They're coming off a big win, probably their biggest win they're going to have all season, away to Leicester. I believe they was away last week, right? Yeah. Which were very surprising. But yeah, I think it's just one step too far to think they can get anything out of the City game. And I think
never know, though. You never know. I think with their front three, man, their front three is dangerous. I like that Cavallero. Is he called Cavallero? He's very, very good.
He's cracked. I'm sorry.
Nah, man. You know what it is? Yeah,
he's cracked.
I think he's a decent player, man. I think they've got. You know what it is for me? I think there's something that tells me they'll stay up. Because of their strike force.
Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham.
They're staying up. Shit, bro.
Fulham aren't good, but they potentially could stay up because
their strike force is better than
rubbish. They have got some decent players, but you know what? You're praising Cavallero. I think he's crap, but I think one player who he took a lot of stick because he missed a penalty against West Ham. Lookman, he's been solid for them. Like I think he's been a really, really good signing, and I think he's making that attack sort of.
He's the one.
Yeah, so
he's 100%. He's the one. But
I do think Man City are gonna. Yeah, I do think Man City are gonna win. I think it's at Craven Cottage anyway. I do think Man City are gonna win, but I know obviously, Steve, you're talking about your defense. It is encouraging, but I do expect Fulham, even when losing, I do expect Fulham to cause that defense some problems. This I think it's today, right? Is it today or tomorrow?
Yeah, today. It's at Etihad as well, right, Steve?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Etihad. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. If it's Etihad, they'll still cause problems, but they're getting flogged. They're getting flogged today for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like Steve said about 4-5s, he's thinking, does anyone think that Man City are not going to win today?
No.
Nah, they're going to win.
Steve, I just want to touch on a player because I've seen good things of him, Ferran Torres. What's been your opinion of him so far this season?
He started really well, to be honest. I had him down as a wide player, but obviously with the injuries up front, he played him as a number 9, and his movement off the ball and his runs and everything seemed intelligent. Then he went away on international duty and he got a hat-trick against Germany. I mean, the kid's decent, and we've just got to give him time. He's going to get time in that team with Guardiola. Sterling struggling to get in at the minute, but I mean, everything I've seen about him, his touch, his vision, his movement has really impressed me. And the price we paid for him, I think it was around 30 million or something like that. It was an absolute snip. So I'm not sure what went on there. But everyone's happy because I thought he's going to come in and people are going to compare him to David Silva and say, oh, we've bought him to replace Silva, or Leroy. In fact, they bought him to replace Leroy. So I thought there might be a bit of pressure on him. But no, he's coming. The fans are getting behind him. Pep's showing a bit of faith in him, playing him up front as well. And he's scoring goals. So, yeah, he's been a great signing for us this year. And I can only see him improve. I mean, he's only a young kid. So, everything I've seen from Torres at the minute, he's been positive. So I can't complain.
I agree. Sorry, TOBS, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, how old is he? He's like 20 years old? Because I remember Valencia was like a quick fire sale in their club this summer because their chairman just went their owner just went mad, and obviously because of their financial situation, it was just a quick fire sale. Like all of their key players, well, a lot of their key players got flogged. But I like Ferran Torres. I think the best thing I like about Ferran Torres is that I think he's never static. He's active. Like when he plays through the middle or when he plays out left, he's always looking to do something. I remember him against Sheffield United, and they play a back three, so it's difficult if you're playing one striker to try and work the space to try and get some shots in. But against Sheffield United, the way this guy was popping up, finding space for headers, finding space for chances and stuff, I like him. I really like him. I think he's got the tech, he's got the speed, and I think he's got the versatility. So I think he's one of them players that he's at Man City now. Like he's gonna go up a couple gears over the next couple of years to come.
Yeah, he's impressing for Spain as well in the last few months, international duty. So he's definitely one to look out for. But yeah, I think the Man City game is a pretty much a write-off, an easy win. So we'll move on to. There's a couple more interesting fixtures. We'll start with GRIZZ and Liverpool Wolves and Yotta's return.
Oh wow!
You confident?
Yeah. Confidence is coming back into us. We're never not confident, but there was worries with our injuries and everything. But with our players coming back slowly but surely, we haven't got many coming back this week, but like on the verge of coming back. So the likes of Milner, Ox, Naby, they're all coming back in the next week or so. I think we got Trent back, which is massive because he's our creative spark from a right back situation, And against teams like Wolves, you have to have variety to your play because they're such a hard team to break down. Yeah. You can't just sort of have rely on your front boys because they managed to find these big 6 foot plus Oafy defenders from everywhere and anywhere that are late developers like Bowley and Cody, and now they got some next man called Killman, right? And apparently he's half Russian, so he's a pure assassin, bro. He's like, he's going out there and killing man. Yeah, man. He's apparently he's a local boy as well. So they're big up to their sort of recruitment team, man. They're finding players like even the left back they got. They got 2 left backs. They replaced him.
Noria.
Do you know what I mean? Young lad, and he's quick and he's energetic, and even they managed to get Semedo. So Wolves, we know Wolves. They got a top coach. They're very well drilled. They play good football, but they can be very stubborn to beat. As a lot of clubs here have found out. I mean, they've done a job on City, haven't they, Steve? A couple of times. Arsenal they've beaten. So it's going to be hard, but I'm confident, especially with the fact that we've got 2,000 people back in the stadium. Every little helps. I thought the performance the atmosphere at Highbury, I was going to say, for the Arsenal game, it was okay, it looked all right.
Yeah, the way they had it plotted around was good. I can't lie. They made it look more full than 2,000, that's for sure.
Yes, and so it can lift players. And look, our players gonna need every type of lift because they're tired. It's the same players that are going out. Gini Wijnaldum is the ultimate bionic man. He's playing like every single minute of every fucking game, and he's mad. He's absolutely mad. Fabinho, Matip, sort of carrying little knocks. Henderson, Robertson had a little ankle injury in the last game, had it strapped up, carried on, the warrior that he is. So we're just strapping ourselves up and carrying on, and we're sticking in there, man. We're so happy to be where we are still, and we haven't, Chelsea's greatest season for God knows how long. They're resurgent Chelsea, resurgent Spurs. Everyone's playing well, and we're still on the same points as all these mans with depleted and looking, to be tired. So I can't complain of where we are. It's our mentality and our coach that's getting us through this. So with our players coming back, it's going to be a lot of work for any team to finish above us, I think. But yeah, Wolves going to be hard work. 100% it's going to be hard work. But we find ways, Turkish. We find ways of winning, and that's the sign of champions. We're not playing great football. We're not nice to watch. But I don't really care at the moment. I'm like the opposite of Toby. Like Toby wants football. He's like, I'm not happy the way we're playing, but we take it. Me as well. I don't care about how the way we play. Right now we know we can light up the pitch when all our players are back. But at the moment, it's just a graft, and we're grafting through. I think it's going to be another graft, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you need to graft, you need to grind to get the results out. But Matisse, I want to ask you something, Car. It's not been bugging me, but I've just wondered why. Traore's impact last season and the partnership he had with Jimenez, that was the partnership before Son and Kane being lauded this season. Traore and Jimenez were doing it last season. But moving into this season, Nuno's obviously dropped him. Podence, Neto, they've done their thing. But do you think it was the right decision? He's one of the biggest threats in the league, obviously, at Wolves. But do you understand where he's going with it?
It's a strange one because even last season at times he had Traore at the beginning coming off the bench and he doesn't always start him. And for me, I don't get it personally because I just think he's their super weapon. Do you know what I mean? I think if there's one player that everybody goes up against for the Wolves team and they're like, how do we actually stop him when he's at full flow? It's Traore. It's very similar to Ndombele. It's like these players that you can't really stop them. You just have to control them, push them to the side, try and contain them. But the amount of pace and power and skill that he has, he can beat 3-4 players with his pace. Do you know what I mean? He can take players out of the game. So I think that's an outlet that they should use. It can get them up the pitch. It can do wonders for them. And I am surprised. I think sometimes, I don't know. I think sometimes managers try and do a bit too much. Overcomplicate situations. Very similar to Pep in Champions League games. At latter stage, he tries to start tinkering and doing all this extra stuff, and it's just sometimes not necessary. I think if especially against Man City, if there's an out, you need an out ball. Do you know what I mean? They're going to have the ball, they're going to have possession, they're going to cram you in, and you need an out ball, you need an escape route, and that's where he comes in. So it's a bit surprising for me. I don't really get it too much, especially with John as well.
I think with the Traore situation, I do get it. Like, he was playing pretty much every game last year, and this season he's being used as an impact sub. And I actually think Wolves have been okay. I don't think they've been outstanding this season, but I do think that with Traore, despite his impact last year, he's also like a situational player as well. I feel like in certain games, that you have to play him. Like, let's say if they were playing Man City away and they wanted to soak up and hit him on the counter, or even like Liverpool today, you play Traore. But I think Nuno can do better in terms of rotating the team so he gets more minutes. But more importantly, I think the way Pedro Neto and Podence have been playing this season, I think they're rightly keeping him out of the team because Podence, he's awesome, man. Like, he's such a goal, he's a goal threat, and he's just constant menacing runs. And Podence, he just brings that little bit of class to their team as well. Like, he's got that calmness on the ball, and he's got that wizardry which neither Podence or Adama Traore have. So whilst I agree he should be playing more, when you look at who's playing ahead of him in Podence and Pedro Neto, you can't really complain that he's being benched.
Yeah, I can't even lie. You're both right. And if you haven't seen it already, go to Wolves' official TikTok account. They put a video.
Yeah.
I can't believe how far my team's fallen off. Wolves are putting our players up and taking the piss, telling people how not to defend against Traore. Like, what's going on? I wake up and it gets even worse. We're not even playing the game. It's just Wolves on TikTok. But Steve, I want to ask you about Jota. Is he the signing of the summer? Was this expected? How do you look at Jota's improvement at Liverpool?
It shocked me. The signing came out of nowhere, to be honest. I didn't see anybody really linked with him or anything. And next minute they signed him, and I thought, is he just a backup player? They signed him just for backup. Is he just going to, come in and out? But no, it's been unbelievable. I mean, at the minute, you've got to say has been the signing of the summer. He seems to be getting in the team regular. Every time he plays, he's scoring goals. The Liverpool fans have took to him. He seems to have took to the club, and he just seems to have slotted straight into a Champions winning side, and it doesn't look out of place. So, looking at him at Wolves last year, did I think he was that kind of player? No, he was all right, but would I have linked him with Liverpool at the time? No. But it just shows you, some managers can see it. That's why I'm not a manager. They can see it. Klopp's seeing it in him, got him. And, he's doing really well. I like him. I wish we would have signed him, to be honest.
Yeah, you might as well give me a prediction while you're at it.
On the
Liverpool Wolves.
Well, I think Wolves are going to struggle without Jimenez now. I know he suffered that bad injury. I just think Liverpool too strong for Wolves, and Liverpool win 2-1.
Liverpool 2-1. Yeah, SAEED, what's your thoughts on the game and prediction?
Who's home? Who's home?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. You know what? That could suit Wolves, to be honest with you. You know what, man? I think, TOBS makes a good point there. Podence and Neto, man. I think they're so underrated, man. Especially Neto, man. This brother is just very, very direct. Deadly, man. You know what? A lot of people, and I think it's only 19, 20 as well, I'm like, this brother, you know what? What a smart move, man. This Nuno guy keeps doing it. But I always say with Wolves, man, they frustrate me, man. If they'll, listen, if Wolves had a number 10 here, I would put them in there for top 4. Easy. You know why? Yeah, because they've got a good keeper, a solid keeper. They've got a solid defense, man. Connor Cody here, very, very underrated. Their midfield is as good as anyone. You got Matinho in there, Neves. They've got a good balance in there. You look at it up front, Jimenez, Neto, Podence. They've got a good solid base, man. Semedo. They've got a good solid base, man. And I'm just thinking, if they had that number 10 here to literally provide the link between the attack and the defense, because sometimes I look at them and think they're half-hearted. 1 minute they're saying, right, we'll defend. 1 minute they go to Arsenal and the surprise is all. You know what I mean? They go out there, they go and attack Arsenal. So it kind of frustrates me because they went away to Leicester. I think they lost 2-0, didn't they? And they were frustrated to watch, man. I was like, Wolves, man, come on, Nuno, just let them go. Let them go and attack, man, because they're right there. Yeah. But I just feel like with this game, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, I reckon it'll be 4-2 to Liverpool. I reckon it's going to be one of them games where back and forth, chess match, They'll go forward, Liverpool will go forward. But I think Liverpool's attack base, with Salah, and Mane, I think, and Jota as well included that. I think Liverpool will just have enough. But listen, that might be the game of the weekend, I reckon that'll be a game of the weekend. I'm going for Liverpool 4-2.
But it depends on whether Nuno lets, like you said, SAEED, it depends on whether
Nuno
lets them open up and actually try and take the game to Liverpool. Because as we've seen, as formidable as Liverpool have been, they'll win at Anfield, but it's not without duress. Like teams know that they can go to Anfield now and try and put some pressure on Liverpool. So there's a big question on whether Nuno will maximize his attacking quality in the absence of Jimenez and take the game to them. I don't think he will, but we'll see.
What's your prediction then, TOBS?
I think Liverpool are going to win that 3-1. I think Liverpool will win that 3-1. I think Liverpool are just head and shoulders a better side than Wolves, and I think with Trent back in the team as well, I think especially after that dodgy performance against Brighton, I think they're going to want to get back to winning ways, and they're going to want to get back to winning ways at Wolves' expense. So I can't see anything but a 3-1 Liverpool win.
3-1 Liverpool win. Matisse, what's your prediction for the game?
Yeah, I have to go 2-0. I think, unfortunately, Jimenez, what happened to him is just, it's a disaster. And I think, that's going to make them a little bit, less potent up front. And I think a comfortable Liverpool win. I can't really see anything else other than that, to be honest. They're a team that know how to win. And obviously last weekend was surprising that they didn't beat Brighton. So they have to come back from that as well.
That's true. Yeah, expecting a bounce back. GRIZZ, are you expecting a bounce back?
I'm expecting a tough game, man. Yeah, I agree with TOBS in terms of how he's going to set up. If he replaces, I personally think he's going to look to attack us with Podence, Traore, and Neto, all fast, nippy, short players against our makeshift centre back in Fabinho and Matip, 2 tall players but not very quick. I can see a proper one of those games where it's end to end, because we ain't got the players to play our normal calculated structured football game where we just dismantle teams slowly. We have to just attack them. I think we're going to play front 4. I think we're going to play 2 in midfield and just front 4. I think it's going to be a mad game. I think it's going to be one of the games of the weekend. So I'm going for a madness. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool.
Yeah, you sound like pretty much SAEED said with the 4-2 end-to-end stuff. I think Trent being back is definitely big news. So I was going to lean more towards a draw, but I think that being said, Liverpool will probably nick it. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Liverpool win, or 3-1 Liverpool win. That's what I'm going to go for. But it will be a difficult game. We'll move on to Chelsea Leeds now. Another very interesting game. Matisse, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, we was luckily managed to rest a lot of our players midweek against Sevilla. We made a lot of changes and still thankfully won. So we're coming into this game with our A team energized, and it has to be because Leeds are a high intensity team. You know, they remind me of Blackpool when Ian Holloway was there and they were wearing the kit. Charlie Adam, free kicks. They don't care. Do you know what I mean? They do not give a damn. They'll come, they'll play their football, they'll try and score goals. I think they've got, you know, one of the highest rates of shots attempted in the league. One of the highest missed chances as well. But that's what happens when you shoot that often. You know, they're a good team, man. You know, Bielsa has them playing good football. They're high intensity. They have Phillips drop back into the back three, very similar to how Sheffield United did last season when they played very well and got high up the table. They had three at the back, push their fullbacks up. And then from there, it's just try and get bodies into the box and cause mayhem. And I think, you know, Chelsea, they've had a great defensive record this season. Like I said earlier, you know, got Tottenham down to one shot on target, but they're going to have to be good again because this Leeds team are relentless. They really don't care. They got no shame. Do you know what I mean? They don't care who they're playing. They got no like timid side to them. Doesn't matter who they're up against. They'll go for it. But that can work in our favor because I think Chelsea, you know, defensively this season have been solid. You know, we've got a good goalkeeper now. We've got good, strong partnerships in defense, good chemistries and understandings. And then from there, you know, if we can take the ball off them when they're high up the pitch, we know they're going to leave space in behind. We know they're going to throw numbers forward. And you've got the likes of Kai Havertz in transition. You've got Werner back fully raring to go after getting arrested midweek. You know, we've got pacey wingers if Hudson-Odoi gets any game time. And I think it's going to be an interesting one for Frank, whether he goes with Giroud up front or whether he goes with Werner or Abraham, usually been starting. Because Giroud just scored 4 goals. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you get the perfect hat trick, you're on a high. He was unbelievable in midweek. Absolutely destroyed Sevilla. And I think it's a difficult decision. It's tactics versus form. And that's the decision you have to make as a manager. For me, I'd start him. I think you can't have a 10 out of 10 performance and not play. I think there's different ways to beat Leeds as well. They are going to leave space in behind, but they're also going to press us. And I think to beat the press, you can play out from the back, but you can also clip it over the top. Do you know what I mean? You don't always have to take risks. You don't always have to play out from the back for it not to be ugly. You can make those cute little clips over the top and it still look like good football. So for me, get it over the top to Giroud. Let him hold it. Let him comfort the ball. Let him take fouls if he needs to get us up the pitch. And then if he can get the ball and distribute it, Timo Werner's in behind. And Kai Havertz can make those runs in behind as well. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm just hoping Chelsea keep their defensive record intact.
Before we move on, Matisse, what would be your front four then? If Giroud's up top, who would? Because obviously Pulisic is back too. So like, what would be the behind?
I would play obviously a 4-3-3. What we've been going with. Kai would be my more advanced 8. Mason Mount being the more industrious one to help Kante because it's going to be madness with their midfield. We know how much they like to get into the half spaces. And I'd have Ziyech on the right. I think he's not someone you can really drop. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those players that can make something happen out of nothing. If it wasn't for him, it would be Hudson-Odoi, but I have to go with Ziyech for the sheer fact that he's got the left foot, wand, and he can do something mad out of nothing, and it needs to happen. And then Werner and Giroud, and I think the reason why I don't play Pulisic is that he's got a very, very dodgy, bad injury record. He's only just come back. He started against Sevilla. And for me personally, there's no need for him to start 2 games in 1 week. He's one of those guys that needs to be managed, looked after, almost shielded. Do you know what I mean? And especially Leeds, it's going to be a high intensity game. You're going to have to be putting in extra yards. You're going to have to be making those extra sprints, those extra dashes if you want to get near anyone. So for me, he's the wrong player to be put in this game. And we don't need to. Do you know what I mean? For me, if we had a dead attack and we had no options and no forwards, then yeah, Pulisic has to go back in, but we don't. We have options. We have other players that are playing well, so it's not necessary. And he midweek, for me, he showed that he's not quite there yet. Do you know what I mean? He was making good runs. He had good dribbling with the ball, but then his decision making was quite poor. So it's not like he had a 10 out of 10 midweek where he has to start. Do you know what I mean? I believe in players playing on merit as well. And he can wait. Krasnodar is in midweek. Do you know what I mean? Some mad team in the Champions League, so he can come back in then.
Yeah, no, to be honest, you're right. And I look at Leeds and I think they've definitely got a few players that have stood out this year. Mentioned with Harris, Bamford as well. I think he can cause problems. But someone who's caught my eye in the last few weeks, I think his first start was the Arsenal game. It might have been the Rafinha.
I know. I knew you were going to say him.
Yeah, Rafinha. He looks like he's a little gem there. always involved in their attack. Let's start with SAEED. Obviously, you're nodding there.
You know what, man? I couldn't agree with you more, mate. That Rafinha brother, man. I'm looking at him thinking, well, how the Leeds got him, man. You know what I mean? I think he played in is it Brazilian league first, and then he's come over here. But you know what? He's another kind of player like Richarlison, that little gem that they found from the Portuguese, you know, I mean, this Brazilian league. Sorry, and I'm thinking, what a player. But I'm looking at Calvin Phillips, mate. You know what? Yeah, if you wanna bargain number, you know, that City midfielder, mate, in the Premier League right now. Go get him, mate, because he is a very, very underrated player, man. And I look at him and I think he's good on the ball. He's good on the press. He can do most things mobile. You know what I mean? He can give the. You know what I mean? He can get the hard runs in there. He's a very, very good player. But in terms of this game, though, I look at it and I think there's a Leeds. Leeds are at home, right? Leeds are at home, and I'm thinking
No, Chelsea.
No, Chelsea.
Chelsea. You know what? Well, even better then. You know what I mean? That changed my opinion. I thought if Leeds are at home, I think it would suit Chelsea more because I think Leeds at home, they've been a bit, you know, naive at the back, really. They've tried to play out the back from a bit too much. And I think Leicester game showed it where the Vardy in behind, you know what I mean, they've done that. I think they'll be even better away from home. I looked at Everton, mate, and they had chances after chances after chances. And if they could get Rafinha on the ball, that Bamford guy, you know what, I looked at my Middlesbrough, I was like, bloody hell, mate. I mean, Chelsea have sold him for a reason, but he's come back and he's played very, very well. You know what, yeah? I think this could be a surprise one, you know. I reckon.
Give us your prediction.
I'm gonna go for 2-2, you know. I'm gonna go for 2-2.
Wow.
I think Leeds, you know what, man? Do not underestimate away from home, mate. They are something else, mate. Something else, mate. I tell you what.
Yeah, fair enough. 2-2. That's well, I'll take that. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, we need more people dropping points up top. Not that it matters much to us, but Steve, what's your prediction for the game?
I'm just going to go Chelsea are beaten 4-0.
Wow. Wow.
I lean more towards Steve's thinking there, you know, as much as Leeds have got, you know, the plaudits this season and whatnot. If you look at the underlying numbers and figures, it's not all good reading for Leeds. I think a lot of it has been blown out of proportion. They have looked good in part, but in other parts they've looked dreadful. And you look at the form, I think they've won 2 out of the last 7 or 8. That's not great. So I lean more towards Steve. Obviously, Bielsa's a top coach first season in the league. Grizz, let's move on to you.
Chelsea are a problem, mate. Chelsea are a problem. The depth of squad is unreal. I was going to say he slowly built up that squad, but he hasn't. He just went mad in one summer with like $500 million. You know what I mean? So rightly so, he's built up a squad. He's got 2-3. He's talking, you know, normally we talk about 2 players in each position. This guy's got 3 players in each position, man. Yeah. It's unreal. But whatever, that's him, innit? Good luck to him. I think they are closest rivals. I know Steve will disagree, but I think they're going to push us really, really close this season. I like Leeds, man. I don't like listening to criticism of Leeds. I think Leeds are forget about their history and the fans and whatever. But this team under Bielsa is a joy. As a neutral football fan, I love watching Leeds. I try to watch as many of their games as possible. I just think he's without any world stars, renowned names. I think the most known players bought is probably Rodrigo or the centre back Llorente. Apart from that, he's bought ballers or he's made them and each and every single one of them can play and deserves to play in the Premier League. For example, the Ailing at fullback, what a monster, man! And you know, he's like, I've seen him up against the best because they've had a hard fixture list. I know you saying Turkish that they've had a bit of a, but they've had a very, very tough opening fixture list to start with, man. They've played Man City, Chelsea now, Liverpool, Arsenal. You know, they've had a very, very hard opening fixture list. I think they're going to cause Chelsea problems, but Chelsea are going to have too much for them. I think it's probably going to be one of the most entertaining games of the weekend, along with the Liverpool Wolves one. You know, your guaranteed goals. You know, I think I'm looking at 3-1. Obviously, the Bamford's not the quality of finisher that the top teams have, and
still very good though.
That's a problem. He reminds me a lot of Giroud, you know, in the sense that positionally, clever-wise, in the air, he's very similar. His link-up play, his physique. A lot of Giroud about him, but he's not as deadly as, let's say, a Werner on the other side, or even a Giroud if he plays, which I don't think he's probably going to revert to Tammy. Am I right? Matisse is probably going to bring in Tammy again.
It's really that decision with him. What he does there is going to be very interesting. There's so many reasons to go for each player. There's so many reasons to go with Tammy or Giroud. Obviously, Giroud form-wise, and then Tammy for the pacing behind. I just think Chelsea would be missing the trick if they didn't go with the striker on form, high on confidence. You know how important that is for a striker when they are on a high. And second of all, the opportunity to beat the Leeds press. I think we can get up the pitch so much quicker with Giroud by just clipping it up to him.
I think he'll be the opposite. I think Tammy will be deadly for you against the high line, because Leeds don't change for anyone. That's the madness.
Werner's the issue at the high line, I think. Werner
and Tammy, they make a lot of runs because Ziyech drops in and gets his head like a la Rodriguez style for Everton. And then Tammy and Werner making runs, and even Mount from midfield. I think that's the way to beat Leeds personally. But Lampard.
So you're going for 3-1, Grizz, yeah?
Yeah, man, 3-1.
So what's your prediction?
I think it will be a high-scoring game. I think Chelsea, just the nature in which Leeds play, they live and die by their system, innit? Their man-to-man approach and the way in which they have to be open themselves to try and commit as many men forward when they're attacking. I think it's only going to go one way for me. Chelsea are going to win that game. I think in a shootout, Chelsea have more shooters. Chelsea have more firepower. Chelsea have the better players. So I'm expecting Chelsea to win that one, and I'm gonna go for 3-1. It's gonna be an entertaining game, but I just feel like Chelsea will have too much for Leeds. But I do think Chelsea need to also show Leeds some respect, like SAEED mentioned. Players like Calvin Harris, you can't let him have space and time to pick out passes. You saw their performance at Anfield. You saw their performance last week at Goodison. Like, if you don't show this team respect, they will pick you off, and they'll pick you off good. So I think it'll be an interesting game for Lampard, especially playing up against Bielsa or the history they have. But I expect to get the edge, and I'm with Matisse as well. You have to go with the informed striker, and you have to go with the striker who really and truly is better than Tammy. Like, let's be real. Giroud is a better striker than Tammy Abraham. Like, I like Tammy. I respect what he's done in the last sort of 18 months. For me, he's gone from being a crap player that I thought to actually being Premier League ready. Like, he's a decent Premier League striker, but you have to go with Giroud. And I think he'll bag on the weekend, and I think they'll win.
Yeah, I agree with Tobias, and the history behind Lamps and Bielsa and whatnot, it definitely adds some fuel to the fire. Matisse, what's your prediction, bro?
Yeah, man, Spygate, Derby versus Leeds. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot there. So it's, for me, I like I said, I just think variety is important up front, and you got Giroud, you got Werner for the pace that we're talking about earlier, and then there's many ways of scoring. Set pieces, Chelsea have tried to score from those opportunities as well. Reece James's crosses, I want those to be taken advantage of, with Giroud's heading ability as well. I'm gonna go 2-0. I think I do understand Leeds like to attack, but they've also missed a lot of big chances as well. And I think Chelsea's defense has just been so good. Mendy in goal has been amazing. I think he's got the most clean sheets now in the Premier League. Thiago Silva, Zuma. We're going to play our strongest back line, and I just think we're just superior at the moment with that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm just going to go with my prediction: 4-1 Chelsea. I think the game is perfect. Wow. I think Werner's been on the cusp of a great game for many weeks so far this season. A couple more finishes in a couple of games, and he shoots near the top of the scoring charts, and the confidence and morale. So I look at this one as Werner's game. I've made him captain on Fantasy League. I'm going 4-1 Chelsea. I think it'll be a walkover in the end for them. It might start a bit nervy, but I think it'll be a walkover. And we'll move on to Man United, West Ham. Last SAEED. Touching on,
but Steve goes at the right moment. You know what I mean? When he hears the United report, yeah, man. You know what? Yeah, this is a weird one for me, because when you look at it now, Man United's away record is probably the best. You know what I mean? I think in the league, I think it's. I mean, we're looking at, I think, the kind of history since Alex Ferguson. I think in terms of most away points in the league, and I feel like
in 2020 you got the best away record.
Yeah, the best away record. So I feel like that will keep us in good hands, man. And that's why I'm quietly confident about this one. I look at West Ham. I think you know what I mean. I think they got outplayed by Aston Villa for large parts of that game. I really do. I think West Ham's kind of defensive approach kept them in that game, and I think they deservedly got the draw in the end, Aston Villa. But when you look at it, and I feel like the back of PSG. The way it kind of capitulated in that kind of sense, I just don't think it will go hand in hand with this game. I mean, I think Premier League form, we've been there. Cavani, that one against Southampton, it was a good kind of mental block for us, man. 2-0 behind. We've not done that in a while, man. Since Sir Ferguson days. I remember the Van Persie header, 3-2. You know what I mean? That's probably as good as it gets. Hernandez, them kind of days, but we've not had that for a while. And I feel like for us, we've got problems up front. Martial's not firing, but Cavani's starting to step up now. Bruno's kind of, what's it called? Still plugging in the goals, and it's becoming still for me a key man. I know there's a lot of people that say, they don't rate Bruno Fernandes, but I'm one of them. Yeah, I still believe, man, without Bruno Fernandes, we'll be nowhere. And I feel like, we've got Pogba coming up, Van der Beek. There's a lot of quality in there, man. We should be beating West Ham, man. You know what I mean? The eye test says that we should be beating West Ham, but only it depends on how we approach the game. Do we come with a mentality of, we're a bit, tired. This might come into it. We've played a lot of covering ground by Verratti and Paredes. They kept the ball on Wednesday. So we might look a bit tired because we are playing the same back line all the time. We are pretty much playing Bruno Fernandes. Rashford is coming back from an injury again. We're playing players. We're running them to the ground, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we picked up injuries in January because we keep playing us first 11 all the time. I think Ollie doesn't trust a lot of players. He really doesn't trust, playing expansive football the way Tottenham dealt with us. I still think, a good manager still believes in what he does, and still look at Bielsa. Doesn't matter what he does, still again attacking. So, yeah, man, I'm going to give my prediction as well in this one. I'm going to go for Man United to win this 2-1. I think West Ham is a very, very solid team, man. Look at the Rice in there. I think Ogbonna doesn't get the plaudits he deserves, man. Him and Balbuena, very, very good defensively. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think it'll be an edgy game, but I think we'll nick it.
Yeah, to be honest, you sound confident. And Steve, you're back. Yeah. I thought you heard United and thought you're going to leg it, but you're back, Steve. So let's touch on you before you leg it again, man. United, West Ham, what's your prediction, mate?
Do you know what? On my bet today, I've gone for West Ham. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling that Moyes might do something today. I think I just got a feeling West Ham. I don't know. I'm looking at United. I mean, they did the comeback against Southampton. I mean, they were 2-0 down. I'm sat watching it. I said to my dad, I said, they'll win this. They'll win this. I mean, Cavani proving that he's still got it. You know what I mean? But I've just got a feeling for West Ham. Like I said with the Chelsea game before, I've got a feeling Chelsea's going to roll Leeds. I'm not buying that Leeds super football. I just think it's hit and miss, and I've just got a feeling today that West Ham might do it. But we've got them locked down the road next week, so I'd rather them win today and then we can lever them next week. To be honest, I don't want no comebacks next week and they get beat today.
And Ole does like them wins out of nowhere, to keep his hand on the wheel. So it is what it does. But what's your prediction, Steve?
I will go 1-0 West Ham.
1-0 West Ham, tight game. Matisse, give us your thoughts and prediction, mate.
Oh, Jesus, man. Do you know what it is? Yeah, Ollie, man, he's at the wheel. He's doing his thing, literally.
He's riding it like this right now. He's happy, right? Not like this anymore.
Man United is just so unpredictable. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with them. Do you know what I mean? One minute it can be a great game of football and they score like 3-4 goals and do their thing. And next minute they're getting carved open like anything. So West Ham, I'm gonna go with a Man United win because I think it is just about time for Ollie to get his 3 points to keep him in the job. So I think maybe 2-1, but it's mad, man. And they probably won't play well either.
What, 2-1 United? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tobs, what's your thoughts and prediction, bro?
Is it Man U? Because I'm trying to remember as well. Is it Man United away? Yeah. At Upton Park. West Ham have become a bit of a bogey team for Man United in recent years, so it's a weird one. I could see it. I think I'm gonna go with Steve. I could see an upset here, but maybe not so much of an upset where West Ham win. I can see it ending in a draw.
They're fifth in the league, though. They're playing well, but fifth in the league.
Yeah, I feel like they're quite disciplined when they want to be, and with Antonio back as well, I think
he's injured.
Oh, he's injured again. Oh wow.
Yeah, he's injured.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for a draw. I think that game could end a draw today. I'm gonna go for 2-2. I think United could win and they really should win, but I can see that game ending a draw for some reason.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Grizz, what's your prediction, mate?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I was gonna favor West Ham if Antonio was fully fit, especially the running around Man United had to do on against PSG. As SAEED says, man, they chased leather, bro. In that second half, they chased a lot of leather. So I would have gone for West Ham, but I think they'll get a draw against Man United, especially with no what's his name, Antonio. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for like a 2-2.
Yeah, that's a big miss for them. I can't lie, he's a bully up top. But looking at that game, I'm like Steve. I just see something with West Ham this weekend. I think United were lucky against Southampton. Obviously, Cavani saved the day. But I just feel like West Ham might nick this one 2-1. So I'm gonna go with that and keep my fingers crossed on that one. We as Arsenal fans need everyone to be dropping points right now. But people, this has been the Big Six show. We're over an hour in. I think we touched on everyone's teams pretty well. That was a criticism from last week. But yeah, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed the show, what you'd like us to add, what you want to see more of, all of that. Like I said, there's an intro coming. I need an instrumental for that intro. So send in your instrumentals to my Instagram, Twitter, Turkish LDN, or the Big Six show below, as you can see. Add up the socials. But guys, SAEED, GRIZZ, Steve, Matisse, TOBS, it's been a pleasure again, guys.
Cheers, Turk.
Yeah, man. Come on.
We'll be back probably Tuesday, hopefully, maybe Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get that done and review the week and then preview the next week, maybe Friday or something.
Yeah.
Try and get it done twice a week. But people, love for that, man.